Hey everybody, Sting 1981. So I got a video for you guys today. So I'm going to make good on what I said. So on the last video I left you off with, I had this little guy right here. So this is the 4070 Super. And today I got something. So in this one, what I'm going to do is going to open you guys so I can show you what I got. So I'm going to try to hold you guys with one hand while I do this. So let's see, the easy way to do that would be like this. This will be an unboxing. It's going to go with the 4070, and I'm going to talk about it here in a minute. Just so I can get it open here. Sorry to move you back and forth. I'm jostling you guys with one hand and opening this up with the other. Pretty good job unboxing or packing it in. Nothing there. So this will be a new unit. Now this has been done before. So what I'm doing is basically a power supply. It's going to be power supply with the side of it. So this is the accessories. This will be the GPU. AZ02 GPU wire harness. Let's see what stuff we get in the bag. Nothing else in the sleeve box. Mounting bracket for the card. Some hardware. So that's hardware that give you a brief rundown. This is going to be the oclink, which I will not be using right now at the moment. Power supply cable, and the 4.0 USB or USB 4. So what I have, and I'll hold this while I do the rest of it. So I'm going to use, so the rest of it was basically like this, coming in like a little puzzle like that, taking this off like so, taking this liner apart. This is just a foam liner. You got some booklets, some stuff I have to read, and then a sleeve, and this little guy. So what I will say about it: thumb stud, a power button that you push in when you're ready to add power to it, this has already been done, the oclink, and you have your USB 4. Now the difference is I went with that. Oh, and a tab so you can pull out the power supply, fan, the tab so you can pull it out, the top mount for your it's a top mount and bracket with the thumb screw, and you back this out, get it loose. You press down your card, which will come up right about here. It'll overshoot to the side, and then you'll have on this side here your mounting tab. That was this little guy right here, which is like basically a 90-degree mounting tab. You will mount that onto the side of here, flat flush, and it just gives the card something to lay on. I'll probably pause and demonstrate it when I come back. So let me go ahead and give you guys a pause, and I will come back with it mounted. Pausing you guys. All right, guys. So I'm back. So here's my card and everything. Took it back out of its box so I can show you guys. Here's the card. Okay. Here's it's like a big oversized Nintendo or Atari or an 8-track cartridge, however you want to look at that. You got this big slot right here. Okay. And you have a space right here. And that space lines up when you do this, facing with the gap. That lines up with this space notch right here. So you put it towards you, facing the fans towards you. And then here's the space with the notch. You just make this thing up. I'm going to unscrew the thumb screw. Let's see if I can rotate you around and I can hold this. So here you go. Here's the card. Here's the notch. And you're going to put it just like I'm showing it right here, lining it up. And you're going to push it down into let me loosen this a little bit. Backing that off, pushing it down, straightening it up, and lining this up. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip you back on it and talk while I do this. So what I'm basically doing right now is just kind of lining it up. You kind of saw what I was doing. So yeah, the basic idea of this is so I can have a portable idea of a desktop that I can pretty much take along wherever I want, or have here at the house. It's not 100% ideal, but it gets the job done. You get the idea. Check, make sure I got everything all. Make sure everything's nice and pinpointed in there. Make sure I got it all. So anyway, what it does is you get it all set up the way you want and lined up in there. And then with it all pushed down and seated, you'll put your thumb screw back into the hole. If I can find out where it goes. Okay, hang on a minute. So anyway, I'm just aligning that in place. So anyway, I'm kind of getting it aligned in place, and then I'm just pushing it down evenly. Probably have to back the thumb screw out a couple of times when I do this, but you get the idea. And then you're left with the fans. Well, it'll be facing the setup. Backside. Your ports, which they go from the back and then up to the top, and then you'll have your your data cable that comes with your card, and then they will actually hook onto and basically from there just be extensions of these, so they don't pull on these little harnesses here. So they're basically a harness within a harness, so to speak. So anyway, that's pretty much how this whole thing works. Now, as far as what I personally want to do with it, is I'm just gonna pretty much just use this as a idea to going with this kind of design. I'm just basically just gonna put what I can get through my card as a desktop basically through my handheld, and pretty much just calling it a good day. So these harnesses are pretty much, I believe they're the same all the way front and back. Only thing is they got one here, it's a little, I think they have it backwards, but it's okay. It gets the job done. So you'll click on one side on one. I'm sure they have a certain way they want you to put these on, because they got one side it's really wide and one side it's skinny on these harnesses, and they have one side here that didn't really get bent the right way for the prongs being outward. So that's fine. I'll probably have to rebend it the other way. It's fine. So in design of this, so what you're basically trying to do is, like I said, I'm basically trying to get this to work as a makeshift desktop in the best basically feasible way possible. Down the road I will probably get the AG or the EG02 and get the Thunderbolt 5 out of it, and then run whatever handheld setup I want to do. But for right now, this will get the job done, and I'll go from there with it. So I have, it looks like I got a couple here that are not in the right orientation, so I'm gonna have to probably, so I got two in the right orientation that were bent correctly, plugs with the little tab facing up, and I have another one that's in the wrong orientation and it's facing this way, facing away from me and being bent into the U. So that's kind of, I want to say it's not great, but I'll work around. It's a workaround. So if you look, so two of them are bent, same orientation, and then the skinnies are behind. Now they could have a reason why they did that. I don't know, but I just know that's not the same orientation as this. So I don't know what I'm doing with those just yet, but it basically goes in the back of the AG02 on the bottom base where the three slots are. So I'll show you again real quick where those go. So front, spin it around to the other side here, and you have these three looking little like oversized phone ports, and those are where the harnesses go. Those are where the three I just showed you in my hand, and the tab goes down, the little clickers. Well, these three look like I don't know which way, if there's an orientation or how they want to do that. So I had to do some reading. Like I do things in a way where I'm studying it a little bit as I go. But eventually what I'm going to probably do is at some point or another, I'm going to probably get the EG02. That's the rack version base plate of the same scenario, but you have to supply another, it's a power supply that's separate without the dock slot on it, and it would be a non-portableized GPU. Now, what that will allow me to do is have the Thunderbolt 5 option and not the Thunderbolt 4 option that this one has. So what that would allow me to do at that point would be to allow me to have a little more abundance of options with that. So we'll see how that kind of goes, but work in progress. So we'll see. I don't want to make too big of a stride on anything yet, but as far as everything else looks pretty good here. The wires look good. Nothing really too far out of the ordinary here. I got 3 harnesses here that look like they're okay, and like I said, to walk you through all I got was basically I got 3 harnesses. I'll have to get the orientation so they're all bent the same. So one bends up and goes up this way, one bends up and goes this way. The other one's going to be bent and it's going to be going the opposite direction. So I'm going to have to either bend that and put a force in it and force it to be bent. I don't know yet. This is my oclink, which is going to be a higher output cable than the USB 4. Now the USB 4 is a simple version of what that is. So what that will allow me to have is the ability to do either one I want to do, but inside the oclink is you have to have an interface or a port to support that, or you can't use it, just like in Thunderbolt 4 and 5. If you have a USB supported device and it has the ability to support Thunderbolt 4 or higher, if you have a device that will support that, that's great. If you don't, it'll only be as strong of an output as what it'll actually take. Now, I think on my Ally X, it supports Thunderbolt 4 with the ability to go further distances with the Thunderbolts in series, but I don't know how good it's going to be. So I don't know if it's going to get the full effect of Thunderbolt 5. I could be spinning my wheels on that, but I'm going to give it a try with the EG02 down the road. But right now, I'm going to try my hand at this with the Super, and like I said, one more time. So it's one big sandwich, or it's a cluster. So cluster 1 is going to be the data card or the graphics card. Second part of the cluster is going to be the bottom base or your power supply with the docking slot where this goes into, which I just demonstrated. And then you've got the 3 data ports on the back, which are basically your harness ports. And then you would put your 3 harness ports into here to supply power to that. And then through that is this little guy that goes to your main graphics card, and it'll just be extensions off of this, so they're not yanking on this and not being a pressure point, because you could just get away with just using this and calling it a good day. But the downside to running it that way is you're putting stress on more than one thing than you need to. Now I noticed that they, like I said, they bent 2 of these in the same uniform and one that's not. I'm only going to need to take, now that I'm seeing this, I'm only going to take time to only use 2 of these. So I want to take the 2 that are paired and already bent the right orientation and use those, and the other one that's not in the same orientation, I'll set aside and use it for, for another day, another deal, because it can run up to 3 ports. That means a larger card it can support. We'll play it by ear and see how that goes. The bracket, again, this is for oversized cards like I'm using right now. It's an oversized card. This is mainly for like a 2-fan or a dual fan setup, but you can run tri-fans and you can run something bigger than this. I've seen guys run 5080s on this and 5090s on this, but you're going to be doing a lot of extra stuff. You're going to be doing a lot of extra downsizing on power, downsizing on a lot of things. So you're going to downsize on quite a bit to make that work with this. Now, if you run it on the EG02, you'll be taking advantage of either oclink as well or Thunderbolt 5. I can only support Thunderbolt 4 on this particular setup, and my setup only runs Thunderbolt 4, which is the USB-C connection, which is this guy right here, currently on a Thunderbolt 4 or 4.0 or USB 4. That's all Thunderbolt 4 connection. That just means Thunderbolt just means it's just a higher output USB-C port and USB-C interface wire. That's really it. So a stronger data connection than a typical USB Type-C. And then you have Thunderbolt 5 if you want to go out of this setup and go into the EG02, which is more stationary. You'd have to supply your own, in this case, an ATX or a separate non-slotted power supply. I went ahead and went with this one and given my hand at it and see how it goes and taking it from there. So again, I hope you guys liked it. I'll give you one quick little pass one more time as to what I got here so you can kind of see a little finalization here. So I got this, the 3 harnesses, which I'm only going to need 2 of those. Going to need the bracket, and a lot of guys run it without the bracket on the side of here where it has 2 studs on the side of the bottom of the base, and that is just so you can take less support off the card. Your Oculink, which I am not going to be able to supply power to that right now because I don't have it on my LIX, which I have the 2004-2005 version. At the end of 2005, they started coming out with the new Xbox version. So I have the one before that, which is the Black Edition LIX from 2024, supporting that with this, which is going to be USB 4. It's already been done, but I want to run this and give some this when I go to run this on the 4070 Super and see how it works. I'm kind of at either end on it because I think it's going to be good. It's going to give some power. I have to do some homework as to oh, and one last thing I didn't show on there was this. This is the data port or plug harness that comes with my card. I did speak of it, but it was the other part of this that works with those harnesses I showed you that comes with the card. This does not come with the card I did, or with the power supply I just got. This is what comes with your card. This is going to be the Y, which is a 2-part plug, or it's a 1-part plug, but it's a Y. It's a one plug and a 2. And basically this goes into the card as you see it with the NVIDIA facing away from me, clicking down on the card. And then you have, in essence, these, and you have to make sure you get this completely seated or you'll get a fried plug or a possible fire. It may or may not catch fire, but what it'll do is it'll smoke this. It will burn and tap these plugs, and you'll pretty much just have a smoked plug, a burnt card, and you can have a lot of problems down the road. So you got to make sure you have it completely seated, completely plugged in, seated and snapped. That's really it. Final time. So the ATA or the RTX GeForce Gigabyte 4070 Super. The base, which is going to be the AG02. This is the plug that goes on the top of my card, which goes on this little port right where my finger is at, right here. And it clicks in. And then you have these 3 guys right here, harnesses, USB 4, bracket and hardware for the card, Oculink, power supply cable, some leaflets and panel, and some data I have through the company. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys liked it, and again, hope you guys stay tuned, see what's going on with that, because as of right now, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, I won't know for sure how I'm gonna like this until I get into the next follow-up and see how it goes with as far as putting in that software, running it through NVIDIA. And then I have to do the 43 terminal code that all these other guys I've talked about, Opus, ETA Prime, refurbished handheld, cyber dopamine, they all talk about it all the time. 128 kilobyte, they all talk about it. You have these little nuances you have to do with this card once you get it set up. If you run it with the plug and play idea like I have, you'll just have the 43 error. You run it through that, run it through your setup, through the software driver, and then you're done. It'll just have to clear itself out. You got to do a couple restarts a few times on your device, and then you should be straight. You should be good to go. And you also have to pair it with a good HDMI. So I'm either going to go 2.2 or 2.1 and call it a good day. So we'll go from there and see how it goes. Hope you guys liked it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. And I will see you guys very soon.